Hello and welcome to the Three Will Podcast. This is your host, Danny Ryan, and I have Tommy Ryan here with me, my co-host. How you doing, Tom?
Doing well, Danny.
Great. We're trying a new format where we're standing up. That seems to be a good thing.
That's the theme around here. Stand up. Stand up desk. Stand up podcast.
So sitting is the new smoking, right? So I guess there's probably going to be a stand-up desk in my future. I think it's a great idea. Yeah. Just getting up and also walking around and every once in a while getting out of that desk.
Right.
We don't want to get to be 70, 80 years old and all you see is some hunched over dude. Yes, so I think it's a really good thing. So, all right, well, let's start off with the socks. Let me see. Now that I'm looking down at them, what'd you do today? Oh, that's nice.
Not too bad.
I've asked from my children have asked me what I want for my birthday, and I told them fancy socks.
Oh.
So we'll see if
gonna kick it up a notch.
Yes, because I just have black socks on right now, so I'm not going to show you my black socks. So great topic today was one we sort of just talked about a little bit earlier, and I think it'll be a fun one to cover, which is what makes a great stakeholder. And so we've been in business for like 15 years, a little over, I guess, right around 15 years. We're
August 23rd, maybe 15.
My goodness. And through that period of time, have had a series of great stakeholders and wanted to talk through with you sort of what makes a great stakeholder. What do you see as the characteristics of a great stakeholder? So let's just get this whole thing kicked off. What's one of the key ones that you see as far as a characteristic of a great stakeholder?
I think a great stakeholder has vision.
Mm-hmm.
And not only has vision, but can map that vision to business value and communicate that in a way to their organization to kind of get what they need to follow through with that vision. So, being able to attain budget, being able to attain internal buy-in from teams like IT organizations, other business stakeholders that need to be subject matter experts to pull off that vision and to be able to find what it takes to pull that together to see through that vision. So that's a tough combination, having vision and then execution together. That's some of our best stakeholders that have that combination.
So not only do they have the idea, but they have the willingness or wherewithal to go execute on that idea.
Right. And they might not be have project management disciplines or disciplines that are required to implement against the vision, but they can see it through and get the right people involved to make that a reality.
Great. So that's a key, having the vision and being able to execute on that vision. What's another thing that you see as a key characteristic?
Another key one, I think, is humility. In a sense, a lot of our great stakeholders have strong personalities, but they have a humble aspect of, I can't do it by myself. It takes a team to do it. And we tend to find the stakeholders that we work with the best are the ones that are willing to say, we don't have it covered. Let's look at expertise that we can bring in to kind of round out the team and make sure we're successful. There's a lot of times the ego gets in the way to say, I can do it all. I don't need any help. And so they end up kind of closing off opportunities to be more successful because they think they can do it themselves.
Yeah. The fact is we're outside help. And if somebody never feels like they're going to ask for outside help, we're never going to get involved. I mean, that's one of the things early on from a marketing standpoint is looking for people. There's a lot of folks out there who just want to go do it themselves, and that's great. But then, and this may get into another characteristic, I think they have to be willing, or I guess part of it is humility, is looking for some outside help, recognizing they can't get it done all by themselves or all with internal teams or whatever. They may be hung up on with using internal teams, but they've got to be able to be willing to look for that outside help. I think this gets into another one, which is they have to be great collaborators. They have to be, we do a lot of collaboration software, but as individuals, they've got to be able to be willing to work together and want to collaborate with someone to go create something as well.
Right.
So I think a lot of what the end product is of what we're creating is these solutions typically on SharePoint, where you have large groups of teams collaborating together. They themselves have to have the characteristic of being great collaborators, because they're going to not only work with us, but work with a lot of internal teams to go get things done. They've just got to be able to pull all these different groups together to go pull this off.
Right.
So
another aspect of that is in the communication side is not only collaboration, but also being able to make those tough decisions and be direct, and really ask for the things you need to ask for, and do that in a way that works within large political systems, which are called corporations.
Yes.
That they know what are the right punches to pull to kind of pull it through. Because I think in most cases, in large organizations that need these big projects accomplished, you're a lot of times rewarded by not peeking your head up and not drawing attention to yourself. So to be direct, to ask for things, to be aggressive towards, we're going to make this goal, that sometimes goes against the culture of some large organizations. And so you have to be brave to be a good stakeholder, to have those direct conversations with your leadership, to ask for the things that you need to be successful, and to get the right people involved. And that sometimes it's not a shy person, it's a person that is willing to make those kind of be in those awkward situations, but see through that situation so you can be successful.
And I think along with sort of the vision that we were talking about earlier, is that ability to translate what they're trying to do into business value. And a key point for a great stakeholder, and a couple of people come to mind with this, is they have the ability to go get budget. If they're never able to be able to have this idea, to go translate that over into what the business value is of this. And sometimes we collaborate with people to talk about what the value is of something. I know I've been doing a lot of migrations lately and trying to translate that over into, why do you want to invest this money into doing the migration? But a lot of these stakeholders have to be able to say, hey, this is going and creating this new community site. This is what the benefits are of doing this. This is why we should go spend this money. They've got to be really good at that.
Right. And they're taking a chance, because they're kind of putting their neck out there, because companies care about the bottom line, right?
Yep.
So when you go make these investments, you're taking away from that bottom line for the promise of things will be better. And those things, to have the results of what that vision, the vision that you set, it's a lot of hard work. It's actually seeing it through and making the left and right turns as you get roadblocks along the way, because it's never going to be a smooth path, and your original vision can be seen through. There is some adjustments along the way, and a smart stakeholder and an effective stakeholder will know where to give and where not to give, and where to push through and say, team, we've got to do this, because this is going to be important in the overall success.
I think that through the years, our best stakeholders have been people that we've gone through some struggle with. I think that's sort of where the rubber hits the road, where you really see, are you a partner or not? And looking at, where a challenge comes up, and seeing what the other side does during that challenge. And really seeing yourself through that. I know some of our key stakeholders, we've been through that, and they know what happens when things inevitably go wrong, and it's nobody's fault about it, but how do you react to those situations?
Right. And I tell you, that's when we build our best relationships. And if you do see yourself through a tough situation with a great stakeholder, that's a lifelong stakeholder. And although you don't want to see those bad situations occur, when they do occur, this is going to be tough. But if we make it through it, we're going to have a better relationship, a better, a bond in a sense with that stakeholder, that they know we're going to see them through the tough times. So in a sense, we've got their back, and they've got our back. It's a mutual thing that you have to have this trust that's built up. And what really strengthens a trust relationship is through having a situation where things go wrong. And it could be things that, someone is at fault.
Yeah.
And admitting that, okay, this did not go well, and this is what we're going to do to learn from that, and this is how we're going to adjust, and this is how we're going to compensate for that situation, and do that in a fair and equitable way that allows you to move forward. And that's important.
And we've had situations where it was a win-lose, where we may have we're on projects where we could have been at fault with somebody, and seeing what happens during those times. Do they go after? I mean, there's been situations in which we see someone say, I understand you guys have come up with a good resolution to this, and I'm not going to, at every meeting I meet with you, bang you over the head about this. And then we've had some customers who are that way, and it's like, look, we need to look, and it's win-lose. They're not thinking of, how do we learn from this and grow to be better as organizations. And some of those you walk away, you realize this is
do
not
a good job.
Good client. We need to walk away from this.
You finish what you've committed to, and then you don't look for the next opportunity. And the opportunities don't just fall at your feet in a sense. It's because you're continuing a relationship, building that relationship, having those conversations. And if you do have that strain of it is a win-lose, then when you come to the end of that commitment, there's not going to be another opportunity. And so you gracefully move on, because there's customers that need our help. And there's nothing worse than putting a lot of energy towards a situation where you're not behind that stakeholder. And that's tough. It's hard to get up every morning and work hard in that situation. Those are the toughest projects. But you have to finish through on your commitment, and then you're at that fork in the road that, okay, is it worth entering in a new commitment? Or we're better off having some bench time and then looking for that next opportunity.
We've been fortunate where a lot of our, through the last 15 years or so, a lot of our stakeholders have been at 3 or maybe 4 companies, and we've followed them around. I think it's been just been something where they can rely on us. You know who I'm thinking of.
Yeah. She goes by Bad Penny, I think is her name.
If you're listening to this, you know who you are. But there's multiple folks who have moved on from company to company, and we've just been lucky to be to continue the relationship with them, and just really fortunate that I think it's because they go in, they come in, they want to make changes, they're for all intents and purposes rising stars, because they're going and trying to do the difficult things that they're doing. And a lot of ways, I feel fortunate to be able to get to know some of these stakeholders who are going out there and making things happen in these larger companies, because
you feel tough. Like you're a part of that too. And there's some pride in that to say, we've done some pretty amazing things, and definitely takes that stakeholder to be the leader. Yeah. And you want to follow those leaders that are the strong ones that make a big impact.
A key characteristic of a stakeholder is that it's a woman. We've joked around about this, but I don't know whether it's through the years it seems like there's been a lot of I think nowadays in IT, I think the sort of the leadership that we're seeing from women coming into IT is that they have a lot of these characteristics of great stakeholders, which is they work collaboratively, they are trustworthy. A lot of the things that
they're humble.
They're humble. They're
humble
willing,
in the right way.
In the right way. And so I think we joke around about it. But as a marketing person, one of the things that I do is I want to understand what's our key persona. Right. What is the person who really does make up a great stakeholder? And some of our best stakeholders, it hasn't been all women, but I'm seeing
a good proportion.
Good proportion of them are. So it's whatever that means, whatever it means. But it's been I think we've been really fortunate to work with some great, and it's been great in the IT industry because it's been primarily male dominated, and to see some up and coming stars go and make things happen in these organizations and sort of really come in and shake some things up, and it's neat to be a part of that.
Definitely.
Yeah. Anything else that we haven't covered yet that you would like to?
We probably have hinted around this, but I think innovation is a key aspect, that they're comfortable with new ideas and willing to kind of break through the status quo to be innovative and try something new that has a certain risk component to it. But they have enough wisdom to know how much to bite off. But that energy to be innovative, I think that's, it has to be within the person. You can't make someone be innovative. I think they naturally have that ability to kind of see through an existing situation and say, we can do better, and this is how we're going to do it. So I think innovation is probably the one thing we didn't mention.
Yeah, I'm sort of looking at our list over here at on the chalkboard. I don't know if we probably hinted at this, but they're not typically political creatures themselves, but they know how to deal with politics.
Right.
They're very direct. They're very, they don't fool around with, I think for us, a majority of the business that we've had over the lifetime of the organization has been, non-governmental, because I think we like to go in, we're not political creatures ourselves. We're problem solvers. We want to come in, get something done, and don't want to have something, we're not doing this because this person doesn't want to do this on this certain day. It's because we want to come in and really solve hard business problems. And so, but these folks, that the stakeholder has to be able to deal, since they're in large organizations, they've got to be able to deal with the politics that are out there. But I think they just put it up. They just realize that's part of their job.
Right. And they look at it from a logical standpoint of, these are constraints within seeing through my vision. And as a part of that, picking the battles that you need to pick, the right battles to be able to go forward with the vision. And there's going to be some people that will be naysayers, and you have certain conversations there to listen, but not have that discourage you in seeing through your vision, unless there's something obvious that you overlooked. But in a sense, they don't get beaten down by kind of political systems. They know how to work within that system and do just enough to make that impediment go away and see through their vision.
Anything else before we wrap up here?
No, I think that covers it.
That's great.
Thanks for covering this topic.
Absolutely. Dan. Well, for folks who are listening who are our key stakeholders, thank you so much. I mean, a part of why we feel like we're going to be in business tomorrow is because of you, and it's because of the trust that you've put in us and as an organization. And I think Tommy and I are really thankful for the years that we've had working together with some really great stakeholders. For folks who are who this sounds interesting to, and maybe we haven't worked together, would love to hear from you. Obviously, drop by the website. The person you'd be interacting with would be me. And just if you're looking for more of a longer term partner, if you're looking for, if you have some of these characteristics that we have of a key stakeholder, would love to talk to you. So thank you for taking the time to listen to this today, and have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.